All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Lovely to see you. Thank you for stopping in. This is Real Conservative. On this channel, we take a look at pop culture, we take a look at politics, we take a look at entertainment, and we just look at this left wing world and we try to kind of conceptualize things through a conservative lens. Because at the end of the day, I think that's where you're going to find the most honesty. The liberals, they love to take things to a whole nother level. They love to kind of exaggerate, right? So it's good to have a place to come to where we just going to give it to you in straight facts, and that's just that place. So do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you guys help me get to 1,000 subs in this first month of operation. I would really, really love it. Okay, guys, so we're about 3 videos in, and we're going to talk about this time is the fact that something is really going on in the media. I think the media really missed this one, or at least they're pretending to. But President Trump said something really, really interesting the other day, and I want you guys to take a listen, and then we'll talk about it. Check this out.
Joe Biden ran and said he would never do preemptive pardons. It was an issue that came up when you were leaving your first.
He thought he heard that I was going to do. I didn't want to do it. I was given the option. They said, "Sir, would you like to pardon everybody, including yourself?" I said, "I'm not going to pardon anybody. We didn't do anything wrong, and we had people that suffered. They're incredible patriots. We had people that suffered. You had Bannon put in jail. You had Peter Navarro put in jail. You had people that suffered, and far worse than that, they've lost their fortunes. They've lost their whatever, their nest egg, paying it to lawyers. Those people, and people said, and they wouldn't have even taken, most of those people, they wouldn't have even taken a pardon. This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And the funny thing, maybe the sad thing,
He did.
is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
Wow. You hear that, folks? You guys see what we got there? So very interesting statement by Trump to Hannity. Says that in all of his arrogance, and this is a very common thing with the left, they can to be very arrogant. They tend to think they cover all their tracks, and they get bolder and bolder. I mean, I could think of many a Democrat politician who has stepped in it simply because they got overconfident. And could be a case here where, with all the hype, Biden, we already know he wasn't all there cognitively. Not saying he doesn't have advisors, but it is strange that Biden didn't offer the pardon to the one person that he probably should have been thinking about the most, and that is Joe Biden. Very interesting, folks. And so much to unpack here, so much to unpack. The first thing I just want to talk about is this culture of pardoning. Biden really took it to another level. He took a lot of things to the other level. I mean, the fact that we survived this administration, man, I tell you, it's a miracle we survived it. I mean, with everything, when you look back on all the stuff Trump is rolling back, you're like, wow, I can't believe that the country was slowly headed in that direction. I mean, I saw it, but it just is an old saying. You put a lion in a field of in a field of sheep. He might scare them all off if you put him there quickly. But if the lion creeps up and then stops, all the sheep might look around, they might question it. But then when he doesn't attack, they'll just go back to eating. And then sure enough, the lion makes a little bit closer progress, then stops. Sheep, they might look up a second or two, but they go right back to eating because they're comfortable with that lion there. That's the Democrats. But what happens once that lion gets a little too close? Rah! Like, before you know it, you're overtaken. And I think that's the last 4 years under Joe Biden. It just really felt like a slow a slow race to the bottom. And it's amazing when you see Trump come in and just undo everything. But then we get to the issue of these pardons and how Biden was just really abusive on that. He just really went overboard, pardoning Fauci, pardoning everybody in the swamp. But the one person, like Trump just pointed out, he left the most vulnerable was himself. Now, Biden proactively pardoned a lot of people to avoid any prosecution, which is like unheard of. He did preemptive pardons. Now, it's one thing to be pardoned for something that you already did. It's on your record. It's been holding you back. Most presidents, governors, whoever is going to do the pardon is pardoning people whose crimes have been long since in the past, right? This guy pardoned people who never were even brought up on charges. So what did stop him from pardoning himself? You got to ask, because maybe it was that he was underestimating Trump. Maybe he felt that, yeah, I don't even know, who I'm pardoning, because let's face it, Biden didn't know who he was pardoning. This was all done by staff. Okay, let's just be real. So, in the midst of getting all these pardons done, someone either forgot or intentionally thought it might be a bridge too far to pardon Biden. And they somehow were reassured by the fact that Trump wouldn't either. I have to think that they considered pardoning Biden, but then decided against it, thinking Trump, would never go that far. But I don't know. Again, the left, this is the problem with the left and their arrogance, is that they may not realize how much they tick this man off. Trump, you could see it in his eyes in that clip right there. I mean, what he was saying about the Patriots, the J6ers, I really think he was really talking about himself. When he was saying, like, they come after your livelihood, your reputation, your money, your savings, everything you got. I think he was really, really talking about himself in that instance. And I think he took this really personal. And I wouldn't be surprised if he really makes Biden feel some pain out of all of this. I mean, I really just don't feel like in this case, Trump is going to be the man that just takes this all by himself. It's one thing to pardon the J6ers, but that doesn't really give Trump full vindication, I don't believe. I don't believe Trump will truly feel vindicated until he's had a chance to put something on Biden. And I mean, the way he said it there, real coy, like it was kind of sad that he didn't pardon himself. Why would he say it was sad? And I think it's because Trump knows that he will be going after Biden at some point over these next 4 years, and probably sooner rather than later. Now, Trump's got some big things coming up. He's got to get this immigration thing going. There's going to be a lot of pushback and lawsuits because of some of his executive orders, like DEI and birthright citizenship. People are going to challenge those things, and they're going to attempt to slow down his agenda. But believe you me, I think one thing he will make sure he gets accomplished before it's all said and done is that he's going to get Biden. And he's going to let the Bidens feel a little dose of what he's been feeling. I mean, I can't see it going any other way. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments if you think that I'm wrong on this. But, he let Hillary go. In the first administration, everybody was like, lock her up, lock her up. And I think one of the biggest things Trump came to regret was that he never charged Hillary. Will Trump make that same mistake again? I tend to think he's not going to make that same mistake again. I think this time, for the sake of the country, I mean, show us this corruption. I mean, everybody knows Joe is corrupt, okay? Everybody saw what you went through, Trump. They took your business and they put it inside out all over the street for everybody to walk by and take a look at it. I mean, when we started with your tax returns, and then they investigated your campaigns, and then they investigated all your businesses. I mean, they investigated everything, phone calls. I mean, this guy couldn't go to the John without being investigated. And I think that it's only fair, you know what I'm saying? If the Democrats and the left are all about fairness, then they got to understand when Trump does make his move that it's only fair that Biden have to go through the same thing. I mean, he should be scrutinized too. I mean, they really dug under every rock they could to find something on Trump. And what they finally ended up getting him on was some twisting of the law, turning misdemeanors into felonies and stretching timelines and stretching statutes of limitations, all so they can get Trump on some, trumped up pay scheme with Stormy Daniels. That was the best they can do to get this man labeled a felon. I just find it real hard for the history books if we're going to, have Trump be labeled a felon, but we're just going to let Biden skate. Everybody knows Biden is guilty of corruption. Everybody knows that Biden, who started off, as he likes to say, as the poorest man in the Senate, to leave the presidency as one of the richest politicians ever, it just has to be some there. And it just hasn't been uncovered, like a lot of these things that have just never been challenged before. You know, just like the birthright citizenship that hasn't been challenged before. I just think that with Biden, a lot of his dirt has never been challenged. He's gotten a pass for 50, 60 years. And I think it's time for that to stop. I mean, what are we saying to the next generation when we let politicians go through the halls of Congress, the White House? They're in D.C. 40, 50 years. There's corruption rumors all over the place, but no one ever really bothers. I mean, we're just saying to the future generations, you know, that it doesn't matter who's representing them. I think that's gonna end here. You guys did it on the right. I mean, you showed up. You guys showed that it could and should be done. I mean, you investigated Trump to no end. You didn't find anything, and at the end of the day, what you found was a serious, massive stretch. But at the end of the day, you said you were doing this so that the American people could feel confident that their democracy was strong and that their government was looking out for them, that had their back and wasn't going to let them be led or represented by a tyrant or a criminal or a traitor or whatever the label they gave Trump. They all but ensured that that's what they were doing, was protecting the American people. Well, if Trump takes that in, he's just doing the same, right? He's just protecting the American people in much the same way. Who was this guy that led them for the last 4 years? What dirt does he have under his carpet, if that's where we're going to go now? I mean, I hate to say that it fell to the gutter this far. I mean, there was a time where the presidency was a prestigious position. And, you know, whatever dirt you might have done years ago or whatever, American people obviously sought to forgive it if they put you in power. But that didn't stop the left. Even though the people had chosen their leader in Donald Trump back in 2016, they still continued to pursue him as though he was there, you know, by dirty deeds. You know what I mean? That he shouldn't have been at that spot. Hillary herself, you know, challenged him with electors and did pretty much the same thing they accused of him 4 years later. So from the day one, Trump has had to endure some very tough scrutiny. And yeah, I say it, lawfare by the Democrats since he basically came down the escalator. Well, Trump just gave us a clue, I think, right here on Hannity, that bygones aren't just going to be bygones, and that the Bidens, maybe they better lawyer up. You know what I mean? I know they got plenty of lawyers, but go ahead and put together a dream team, because I think Trump is definitely not going to let this slide. But that's just my take on it, guys. That's what I'm seeing. I want to hear from you. I want you to get me some comments down there in the comment section. Help us get these videos pumped out. I'm trying to grow a channel here so I can give you guys more and more content, more information. So please, guys, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Help me get to 1,000 subs so we can really, really get this thing off the ground. But again, guys, I want to leave you guys with a final thought. You know, when you are a politician and the people trust you with all of their livelihood, with their future, with their safety, you have it, you know, it's very important. It's very incumbent upon you as a politician to not abuse that, you know, to make sure that that trust is held in good faith. You know, I didn't see a lot of that with Biden. He basically took his position and thought that he could just do whatever he want with it. And what do they say about absolute power? It corrupts absolutely. So I think when they were getting us to look the other way with this threat to democracy that they were seeing in Trump, I think it's just real important to be careful to realize that the media will distract you. They will tell you to look over here while they're robbing you over here. And I think that's the case with Biden. They really tried to make this man seem like he was holier than thou. They really protected him. They really made it hard for anyone to question anything he did. And I think now with the circumstances being turned around, that may come to an end. He may finally get to have to answer for some of this corruption, guys. But that's just my take on it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And again, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe and share this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.